Hey students, Mr. Schwing here. I just thought that what I would do this summer is try to put out a video every week. If you want, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be reading over the week, and you can read along with me, and I'd give a little devotional. So for this week, for those of you who want to join, I will be reading in the book of Ephesians. So you should know what Ephesians is all about, how to walk in grace, peace, and love, all that stuff. So make sure that you look over that. Anyway, here's my thought. Ephesians chapter 3, starting with verse 16, says this. I pray that out of his glorious riches he may strengthen you with power through the Spirit in your inner being, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith. And I pray that you, being rooted and established in love, may have the power, together with all of the Lord's people, to grasp how wide and long and high and deep is the love of Christ, and to know this love that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled to the measure of all the fullness of God. And so this is my prayer for you guys over the summer, that you would know this, that you would know the love that he has for you. And it's interesting, he uses two words there. He says, that you may have the power together with all the saints and all the Lord's people to grasp. And then he says, how wide and long and high and deep, so that you would grasp. So that's a Greek word. It's like the learning something at school. But then he goes on to say, and to know this love that surpasses. So I want you to know, and I want you to know this love that surpasses all knowledge. And the last one that he says, to know. So he says, I want you to know how much God loves you. And that's my prayer for you guys, that you would know how much God loves you. But then he says, I want you to know how much God loves you. And as I think about that, I think of, I was in a class in high school, child development or something like that. And it was all about how the human develops and all this stuff. And I remember this teacher, she was very zealous. And she showed her home video of her giving birth to her kids. Now, you guys think that I reveal too much to you as a teacher, but that, I promise you, is taking it to a whole other level. But here's the point. Even though I saw that disgusting video, and even though I knew how a baby was born and what all went into that, I remember the first time I was in the hospital when Levi was being born. And I just remember 1 minute, it's just me and Angel there, and the doctor comes in and says, it's time. And then all of a sudden, like, the whole room transforms. And even though I knew in my head what was going to happen, it was a totally different experience when I was there. They start putting this antiseptic stuff all over my wife, and it smelled, this antiseptic stuff, it smelled funky. And then it's happening, right? And she's giving birth, and she's like, do you see him? Do you see him? And I'm looking down there, and what I didn't realize at that time is that Levi wasn't looking up. I thought he'd be coming out and I'd see his face, and no. All I saw was like gray matter, and I didn't realize he was looking down. And so she was like, do you see him? And I was like, I didn't know what to say. I was like, I see something. She's like, what do you mean? And she's freaking out. And I remember, like I told some of you guys in class, like as they're pulling the baby out, the number one rule they tell all people with babies is take care of the neck, right? Like support the neck. And the doctor, she says, do you want to see your baby? And my wife's like, yeah. And the doctor does the craziest thing. She grabs a hold of Levi's head like a basketball, and she just pulls him by his head and twists his whole body from facing down to facing up. Just twists him and catches his butt right here and lifts him up and shows him. I tell you, the craziest thing, I thought, wow, my kid's been born for 1 second and you broke his neck. But all that aside, before I went into that, I knew what it was to have a baby. But after that, I knew what it was to have a baby. And my prayer for you, like his prayer for them, is that you would know how much God loves you, that you would grasp that, but then even more than that, that you would be able to experience and know the love that he has for you. I love all you guys. I'm praying for you. I have your prayer requests in my bag. I'll be praying for you throughout the summer. Have a great one. God bless. I'll see you again.